Hi, welcome to Abuse on Men, the channel that talks about abuse and signs of abuse and how to overcome it. I was in an abusive relationship for 2 years. It's been 2 years since then, and I make these videos to help other people who might be going through it or might have just got out of it or might know other people, or even just to raise awareness. So this video is all about abuse and money. It's for me it was a bit different, I think, to maybe other people. Typically, abuse with money is when, I don't know if it's typical, but from what I read and learn, abuse with money is usually when the other partner takes control of the finances and then makes it very, very difficult for that person to leave the relationship because they have no way to live. When you control someone's money, it's very, very difficult to do what you want to do, to spend on what you want to spend on, whether it's holidays or restaurants or going out or seeing friends, or even being able to drive because you don't have money for petrol. This is my experience of abuse with regards to money. I don't know how similar it is, but I'll just get into it. So I've come up with 14 examples of, in chronological order really, of the abuse that I suffered with regards to money, and how my abuser used money as one of the sort of vehicles, I guess, to keep me, I don't know if it's trapped, if it kept me trapped so much, but it certainly was abusive. And I think what's scary is probably once I get to the end, you'll probably see the pattern and see how the direction it was going, and going very fast in that direction. So let me begin. So I think it started quite early on. After about I would say 2 or 3 weeks of dating, we saw each other a lot at the start. So would have been, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe 15 times we met in that period. And I kind of, while I really enjoyed being with her, in that honeymoon period, I realized that I was paying for everything. Every time we went out, I was paying for everything. And I kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable, or just more confused, I think. And so, and it's difficult when you like someone so much and they're not, I don't know, you also feel bad. It feels like a little bit of shame in yourself that you're complaining about someone else not paying, when you know that money isn't everything, and things like this. But, so I confronted her after one night at dinner, and I just very gently asked, I noticed you haven't, contributed or even offered to pay for any time we've gone out. I just wanted to know what you were thinking about that. Literally as bad as I said it now as probably how I said it then. And then she literally just burst into tears on the spot and completely shut down, and I basically felt instantly that I was a terrible person for asking this, and that I made her cry by asking why she wasn't contributing in any way or to these dates. And she kind of got out of it quite quickly, so I didn't feel bad for too long, but I understood that there was something going on there. And then I think she told me that she had some bad experiences with money or something, but she didn't want to tell me yet. And I was okay. I was okay with that. And then I think, I don't know, maybe a few weeks later, as things got more serious between us, I asked her again what was going on with money, because I felt a bit more comfortable now to have that conversation and say, look, I feel uncomfortable, or I feel that I'm always paying for everything, and I just wanted to know, what your thoughts were, and why, why that was the case. And I remember her basically telling me, I don't know if it was then, but I can't remember the exact order, but I believe she told me then that she had, I believe what happened then is that she basically said, she burst into tears again. She told me that I made her so embarrassed. Why do I talk to her like this? Her exes used to pay for her all the time and never said anything. Why am I the one saying things? And if I ever bring it up again, then it will be over between us. So very, very strong line that she took. And also by talking about her exes, making me feel that I was wrong to ask these questions. And then basically saying that if I said it again, we'd break up. Like, really giving me nowhere to go with that. It was very, very strong. And I kind of just thought in my head that, okay, so look, I just have to get comfortable with paying for her every time, and hopefully, in time, things will change. So that's what I did. And then I think at one point, she told me later on that she'd working with someone, and they basically put everything in her name, and then the business didn't go so well, and then she owed loads of money, and she went to court, and she flew to Mexico, and then she flew back, and and then had to pay off all this debt, and this is the reason for all of these money issues, and that she was so much in debt that she couldn't do anything, and that's why she couldn't contribute. And I think I felt very bad for her about that. I trusted the story, and then I think only maybe about 3 months later, 6 months later, I'm still paying for everything all the time. I kind of, very delicately, talking to her about it, and just, I think we were living together. We started living together at that point after 6 months. And I said to her, I think the thing that I found weirdest was that not that she didn't have any money, it's just that she couldn't contribute to anything. Like, she couldn't even pay for the tip. She couldn't even pay for a sandwich once. She couldn't pay for anything once. It's not the size of the money that she needed to do. It was just that she wasn't doing anything. And then I think she basically then flipped it around to me and saying that I was the one with the money issues, because I kept bringing it up. And it's funny because it kind of made me think at the time, well, maybe I do have money issues then. Because I am the one that's bringing it up. But very easy for her to say that when she's not contributing anything. And living together, and I was paying for everything, rent, I was paying for food, I was paying for everything. So I remember even when we went with her sister, we took her sister's car, and she wanted to go somewhere in her sister's car, and I had to pay for the petrol after, but it wasn't like I was paying what we used. I was literally paying to fill up the car for her sister. And I remember that feeling a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so the next thing, I've gone through, I think, 3 or 4 things now. So the next thing was, while talking about money, she had to create this persona that she was super ethical with money, and that she wouldn't steal from anyone ever, and she believes in karma. She used to say this a lot. And one time we went to the supermarket, and I remember we bought loads of food, and every time we come out, she's checking the receipt. And on this particular occasion, she saw that we'd been charged for cucumbers when we bought courgettes, and courgettes were more expensive than cucumbers by like $1 or whatever currency, like nothing. And she was like, no, we have to go back. We owe them money. We owe them another $1 of like a $150 shopping spend. We owed them, $1. So we went back, and she explained to the guy, and then he had to reweigh everything, and then we ended up giving like $1 or 50 cents or whatever it was. And I remember thinking at the time, well, you know what? That's really, I wouldn't do that. And she's obviously super ethical with money. So, maybe all these stories and everything else, I guess it all is true, and I should trust her more. And, I know she would never steal from anyone. She bloody took back courgettes or cucumbers. So that was a big thing. Then I remember next time we were going somewhere. We were going to a restaurant for lunch or brunch, and I remember she was talking like how she had no money and that she couldn't afford anything and things like this. And funnily enough, on the way to this thing, we were on the bicycles. I saw like £50 on the floor in like different bills. And like just on the floor, like in the middle of the road, no one anywhere. So I picked it up, and then I instinctively gave it to her, and I said, "Here, look, you have it. It's a gift for you." And she was happy, and I thought, it's funny that she never thought, you know what, you found it, you have it. She never, when we went to lunch, she never said, oh, you know what, I'm going to treat us now with this money, it's for both of us. Like nothing like this. It was basically, I paid for lunch and the tip and everything else. So then the next thing was holidays. So I wanted to go on a trip somewhere for a week. And of course she couldn't come because she didn't have money. So I really wanted to go with her. So I said, look, I'll pay for you. It's no problem at all. I'll pay for you. I just would really love you to join me. And so she said, okay. And then about a month before the trip, she got some unexpected bonus from her company that literally would cover her cost of the trip. And rather than in any way offering or contributing to use that money to pay towards the holiday that I was paying for, she basically decided to go on another holiday with a friend of hers somewhere else for 3 days. And I remember thinking that was a bit weird. Like, why would you, like, you've had no money, you've talked about having no money, you finally get some money, and the first thing you want to do is basically go on this trip, another trip, and not offer to contribute anything towards our trip. Or anything really, actually. Forget the trip, just anything towards us, or the living, or the food, or anything. And I remember feeling a bit annoyed with that. But again, I let it go. I basically was like, you know what? She deserves this trip with her friend. She got this bonus. She can choose what she wants to do with it. It's my choice that I wanted to go on the holiday. Maybe she should live a little. Maybe she'll be more relaxed or whatever. I think the next thing was to do with the apartment. So throughout the relationship, She was always talking about how we needed to buy things for the apartment. So first of all, it started with side tables in the bedroom that we needed another side table, but rather than buying one from IKEA, because she didn't like the ones in IKEA, we had to go and get them made bespoke, which obviously cost a fortune. And so we looked at loads of different companies and people to make these bespoke side tables, which went on for months and months. We eventually commissioned someone to make these side tables that then made a mess of it. And we, got our money back. I got my money back. But that's what it started with. Then it continued with a rug. We eventually got the IKEA ones. Then we continued with a rug, and that we needed a rug. And that she wanted to buy furniture to put on the rug and furniture around the rug and basically fill the whole flat with furniture that we just didn't need. And of course, I was the one that needed to pay for it. And I was very strong about that I didn't want it. And so we didn't, and that would cause a lot of drama. Then it became the Hoover, and that we needed a better Hoover. Because the Hoover that we had wasn't good enough, so we needed a new Hoover. And why I was being so cheap in buying a Hoover, and I needed to buy a proper Hoover. So the vacuum cleaner I eventually got in the UK and brought it to where I am. and then she took the old vacuum cleaner and gave it to her mum. And then it started with wardrobes that she needed. Her sister needed wardrobes, so I needed to give her sister my wardrobes so that I can buy new wardrobes, because buying new wardrobes would be better anyway. And I basically said no to that. Then she wanted me to buy a car. Because we needed a car, because to go to her family, we needed a car. Even though I never need a car or have no use for it, I live in the city. But we needed a car because she needed a car. So that went on for a bit, about how we needed a car and buying a car and all of these things, and how, she could, I don't even know, like telling me that we needed it. The other thing was a prenup agreement. So before she moved in, I basically got her to sign a prenup agreement. Basically said what was mine, what was hers. Because under law where I live, if you live together, it's considered your shared assets. So I remember I only found out about this 2 days before she moved in. So I managed to get this prenup agreement put together, and basically, told her that, we needed to sign it, and she did, because, I think she realised that there was no way that she was moving in without one. And then I would say every 6 months she would talk about this prenup agreement and how we should get rid of it now. And then I would say in the final 3 months, she mentioned that prenup agreement every week. Every single week, she basically said, why do we have it? We've been together for so long now, it doesn't make any sense. We should get rid of it. You love me, we're going to get married, or whatever else it was. Why do we still have it? It doesn't make any sense. And it like every week for 3 months, she would talk about this prenup agreement. Drive me mad with it. The next thing was, I kept the prenup just to close that one. The next thing was, there was a leak in the flat, so I needed the insurance company to come and basically repair the leak. It was my family's apartment. And so we got different quotes, and she helped with getting the quotes, etc. And eventually we got about £5,000, and we found a builder that would do it for like £1,000, which would give us about it was about 2.5 each after that. And we were just about to go on holiday again, and she basically I was again paying for the holiday for this one. I will say there was one holiday where she paid for that she took a loan out from the bank over 12 months. But this holiday I was again paying for, and because she didn't want to take a loan again, so we got about £2,500 each, and I just before we went away, and I said to her, look, I said, I don't want you to feel that I'm paying for everything all the time. Also, it's not, I want you to feel a bit more relaxed with money. I've got, this £4,500 or £5,000. I wanted to give you like £1,000 to give you a little bit more freedom and flexibility and not have to worry so much about money. And and then she basically negotiated with me at my gift, and basically said, look, I helped. She said she helped me with the insurance company, and therefore 50% of that money was hers, and so I really should be giving her 50%. And while I thought this makes no sense, it's my family's apartment, it's their insurance, their money, and you made a couple of phone calls, fine, but come on. I basically, to keep the peace and to make a gesture, I agreed. And I basically said to her, look, you take the money, I'll give you half of it, and you can choose how you wish to spend it. If you want to help spend on the holiday, great. If you want to spend on other things or yourself, it's totally fine. I'll leave it with you. Whatever you want. There's no strings to this. So that's what I did. And of course, she didn't spend any of it on me or our activities or holiday or food or anything like this. So the next thing is that whenever she got really mad and really angry and really upset, I don't know why, but I used to, there was nothing that would work. So I used to go and buy her small gifts, like bath soap or smelly stuff for the bedroom, or just things that were meaningful that I knew that she would like, but just as a way to take the edge off it, I guess. And it was funny because I fell into this pattern of feeling that I needed to do this, but equally when I did it, I got no thanks at all for it either. But maybe this is something for me, but I do remember getting into that pattern of doing that. Whether it encouraged her to be more, dramatic, so I would do that, I don't know. But and then I think the last thing is that when we broke up, she basically said that she doesn't see why she needed to move out of the apartment, and that if we were together or if we were married, I would be the one moving out. And she thinks that I should really be the one that's moving out of the apartment, even though it's my family's apartment, and not her. And I just was in shock. Like, well, that's my family's apartment and we're not married, so why would I leave? And and you live here? It doesn't make any sense. So I think, very different examples to do with money, perhaps, to what is commonly known with abuse and money. But I would be really interested to know what everyone else's experiences who's gone through something similar or worse or whatever it is. I really hope this video also raises awareness about money, that it's not all about seizing money or controlling money, but also about taking money and manipulating people with money, and finding ways to make the other person feel guilty or that it's their problem with money. It was definitely a very difficult topic for me throughout the relationship. And I remember even when we went to her therapist to discuss money, she would use that information against me and say, oh, it's because you grew up like this and like that, that's why. And of course I had nothing really to say to that because she knew my history. And so it was very difficult that, it was then my problem, I was the one. And very easy for her to I guess hide behind debts and no boyfriend has ever treated her like this before, and why me, why do I, and all of this stuff. So I hope that helps, and thank you so much for all the comments that have been left. I really do read all of them, and I'm very feel very grateful to be able to help others, and also for you to help others, and everyone sharing their stories and creating a community. And so thank you, and take care and be safe, and thank you. Goodbye.